Well, when you talk about classical economics,
Mm-hmm.
it sounds like it's the sort of bird's eye view of at the highest policy
Mm-hmm.
level,
Mm-hmm.
at the highest level of abstraction.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you have experience with Western folks who have real field experience, who are on the ground, who know the complexities of trying to live with a market that's doing this up and down stuff, and that's out of the control of the locals entirely. So how are people, say, in U.S. aid agencies thinking about their role, say, in Botswana, as they watch this? I mean, you have this argument from on high about classical economics and producing what you're best at producing. You see stuff on the ground that's a little, that doesn't quite match that.
Mm-hmm.
How are people thinking as they try to sort of, be of assistance to these countries?
So I think more broadly in sub-Saharan Africa, there's a sense that the first Green Revolution, which was an effort in the 60s and 70s, led by Norman Borlaug, who's a graduate of the University of Minnesota, to take industrial farming techniques developed in the global north, so the combination of hybrid seeds with pesticides and fertilizers, and bring these to the global south, the tropical areas of the world. And so that led to tremendous yield increases, particularly in Mexico and some areas of South Asia. It's not to say that it wasn't done at great social cost. There was a lot of farmers that went out of business as a result of that. But big producers did produce more. And there were also environmental concerns about insect populations becoming resistant to pesticides, for example. But that first Green Revolution had less of an impact in the African context, in part because they didn't really focus on crops that were major African crops. So one big focus was on wheat. There's very little wheat grown in the African context, as well as on Asian rice, but it's different than a lot of the African rice varieties that are grown. So there's been a big push in the last few years in the wake of the 2000 global aid food crisis to bring a new green revolution to Africa. And so to, these same sorts of packages of hybrid seeds, pesticides, fertilizers, increasing use of GMO, genetically modified seeds, to increase crop yields. And I think the issue there is, while that will increase total production, it won't necessarily solve the hunger problem, because those types of technologies tend not to be accessible to the poorest of the poor. Furthermore, as noted before, you're in a way setting people up for a system that is closely linked to energy prices. So, if the poor can't afford them, but the rich can, the big farmers become bigger, the small farmers become smaller or go out of business, they become dependent on a market, and then those food prices go up when energy prices go up.